Hey guys, it's Stacy and thanks for tuning into the Retro Time Machine. Today, I'm going to show you how I totally redid this vintage bookshelf.
First, we've got to take a trip to our local hardware store. I wanted the wood stain to match the wood that I have on my bed frame, so I brought a piece with me just to check. I also wanted the paint to match my sheets, so I brought this little bag that the sheets came in and took it over to the paint counter and asked the guys if they could match it perfectly. Now this is the color that the shelf was before. It was kind of like an ugly poop brown. Not a huge fan. So we went ahead and put a bunch of paint stripper on it and waited. We actually wound up having to do this process twice because I wanted to buy the eco-friendly paint stripper, but it really didn't work. So sometimes green is not always best. With a little bit of elbow grease, all the paint started to come off, thank goodness. I found out using an old plastic card seemed to work best to get the paint off the edges, but it was still a lot of work. Now for the fun part. I did the best I could sanding down off this old paint. I knew that I would be staining and painting over this, so it didn't have to be perfect, but I wanted more of that wood grain exposed, and I didn't want any of this ugly brown leaking through onto my pretty blue paint. When working with stain, you want to make sure you have gloves and an old rag. Once you pop the top, make sure you stir it really well. Shaking is not enough and the color won't come out. Evenly and lightly apply the stain. You can always go back and add another coat. I did 2 coats on the parts of the shelf that stand up, and I just did 1 coat on the underneath because the top was going to be blue and we're more likely to see them. Adding stain is such an amazing way to wow up any simple project. It really shows the beauty of wood, and once you've done it on something, you'll never do a wooden project and not stain it again. Now that we've got our 2 coats on, we're going to let these bad boys dry for a couple days and move on to the fun part, which I love, paint. Now my mom taught me this really cool trick. You take a nail and you hammer it into the rim around your paint can. So when you pour your paint, it drains back out that way and the paint lid doesn't get stuck whenever you put everything back together. I was so happy with how this color turned out. It was a little messy, but it's okay. I know I was going to sand that off and clean it up later, but once this color dried, it matched these sheets perfectly. I only had to do 1 coat on all of the boards. I always recommend using a paint roller, even on small projects. They just go so much faster and you get really clean lines. I went ahead and re-sanded the boards to make sure there was no stickiness or grit left over. Following the edge seam of where the 2 boards were connected together, I used this awesome frog tape. I knew I wanted a wow factor moment on these shelves, and I really wanted to pull in more of an Art Deco look, which that meant adding a pop of color along the edge. I decided to go with a gold rub and buff. This product is super cool. You apply it to a piece of cloth and then you gently polish it onto the wood surface. It leaves an amazing shine, dries super quick, and was ridiculously easy to do. It was also a great product to use along the edge of the tape because it didn't want to seep under at all, and the more I pushed, the more it pushed down the edge of the tape and pushed the material into the board. Absolutely recommend 110%. So satisfying. No drips, no leaks, nothing outside the tape. Here you can see the color of the bed sheets, and here you can see the color of the paint. The shelf looks absolutely fantastic. Definitely gives that Art Deco vibe, and I can't wait to put things on it and decorate a little bit more. I feel like it really made my bedroom a room, something like out of a magazine, and I'm slowly working on making that room exactly what I want it to be. Thanks for watching, and take care. Always, God bless.